Previously on Xorti's World.
I'm downloading the codes now. I just need another minute.
Surrender now, Mr. Magica.
I will never surrender to you. Listen, Ambassador, I'm gonna stop this assassination. There is no red wire or blue wire. I've got to find that detonator. Oh, shit. Hey, I got a podcast to do. Howdy. Thank you for stopping by. Thank you for spending time with me. My name is Xorti Magica. My real name is Carlos, but Xorti means luck in Maltese. And for the most part, I think I'm pretty lucky. I pretty much have the same amount of good luck that other people do, which is kind of neat. But before we jump into what we're gonna do today, how about you? How was your day? Was it a good one? Was it a bad one? How about your week? Did you have a good week? Did you have a bad week? Were you on vacation perhaps? Did you do something really cool? Or was it riddled with errands? You know, those things that we don't want to do, but we gotta do. I don't know about you. I'm not a big fan of errands. There's certain things I just don't like to do, right? Are there errands that you don't like? For me, the craziest one is doing laundry. So I live on St. Farteau, and on this island, most people do their laundry at a laundromat. And some people love the laundromat experience, and God bless them. I don't know. I think for most of us, the answer that it's a giant posterior pain, right? Don't you secretly hope that these clothes wash themselves, right? Don't you just hope that somehow you just open the closet door and forget washing clothes? Don't you just wish that you just opened it up and there was new clothes every time? And exactly what you wanted. You didn't even have to guess, exactly in your size. You could lose weight, you could gain weight, and your clothes would be perfect. Wouldn't that be awesome? Well, I don't know about you, that hasn't happened for me at all. And on the island here on St. Farteau, like I said, most people have to do their laundry at a laundromat. And I don't know what your laundromats are like, and I'm not trashing the island, this is just the way it is. Here, the most challenge a person can experience is doing laundry at the laundromat. From what I've personally witnessed and dealt with, I think this is true. Because for those of us who aren't blessed with a 100-gallon Mitsubishi Triplexa remote-controlled washer and dryer with the optional Pediflex foot massager and margarita mixer, just the mere thought of experiencing that carnage is enough to make us afraid. Very, very, very afraid. Let's face it, laundromat experience, this is not an errand. It's a competitively combative gladiator blood sport designed to erode 2 hours of our lives. 2 hours that we're never going to get back. And this volatile carnage begins with the arena itself, with a laundromat. The layout of this facility itself is pretty much a direct affront to ergonomics. And it's as if the objective is either to create maximum customer discomfort in a small user hostile overcrowded environment, or to pay homage to the gladiators of a long time ago. You know what? Both of those could be true at the same time. So the washers, right? They're front loaded and they're designed so that victims, laundry patrons, have to kneel in prayer-like fashion to access these see-through doors and catapult toss all their underwear, all their garments into the revolving hamster wheel washer. And that's if you can even get a washer. Because Abuelita, I think her name was Clara Net, Abuelita, Granny comes in here and commands 13 of the 20 available washers by deploying this really bizarre strategy. In the washers, she puts 3 items in each one to take up the whole thing. And to make things worse, the washers have a 45-minute wash cycle. So Granny's taking over everything. It's like the Spartans or something. And yes, there's 7 washers left. You better sprint as fast as you can, because there's 5 other ambitious, bloodthirsty patrons waiting and running towards those same washers that you need. One of your combatants, laundry customers, is hauling 12 jumbo-sized bags of laundry, enough to clothe the entire population of Cleveland for like a year. And she looks really buff, and she looks like she'd have no problem neutralizing you, kicking your ass, just to get to those washers before you. Now, luckily for you, Lady Luck has smiled on you. By the grace of fortune, you've actually managed to sidestep the laundromatic carnage and scored 2 of the remaining washers. So you made it. Unfortunately, it is at this point that you realize that you brought no quarters with you, and the change machine is busted. So the joke's on you. And the fun part is, now you look around and you look at the people that are there, and they're looking at you like you're in front of a firing squad. Yeah, laundry is fun, isn't it? Blech. I used to have an apartment that had a washer and dryer right in a room. I didn't even have to leave to go outside to get my laundry done. And little did I appreciate the value of that. Little did I know that I was already experiencing heaven on earth here, but no, I didn't pay attention to that. But I am now. And isn't that an interesting thing about us, right? Don't we kind of not appreciate the good stuff that we have? Don't we enjoy things and not really appreciate their true value until they're not there anymore, right? And by the way, whenever we do appreciate something, maybe we lost something, right? Maybe you had a really cool car and you traded it in for a fancier car and the other one wasn't as good, whatever. Isn't there always somebody there to say,
well, I told you so?
Between you and me, don't we know the mistakes that we've already made? Do we really need some ding-dong to tell us where we've gone wrong? Well, we're pretty much aware what these things are, right? So that's my tribute. I don't know. I don't think I can call it a tribute. Errands, right? So my question to you is, what are those errands that you really hate? Those errands that really, really suck. Whether it's the grocery store, that's another one. We're going to do a segment on that at some point. Getting your car washed, right? Washing the dishes, whatever those errands are that you really, really, really hate, right? Drop me a line in the comments. Let me know what stuff sucks in the course of your week. Errands. By the way, I realize I gotta do laundry. So I'm already scared. On that ridiculous note, I'm going to take a short, quick break and share some clips with you. I hope you like them. They're fun. I never know in advance what clips I'm going to show, but they're fun. Anyway, thanks for being a part of this. It really does make it fun that you're here. I'll be right back. Please enjoy these clips. I'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. So I was having a conversation with a friend of mine who is totally into vinyl. Not that type of vinyl, you perv. I'm talking about music. So we were talking about all kinds of things. We talked about our favorite albums of all time. His were really cool. His were John Coltrane's My Favorite Things and Megadeth's Euthanasia. Those are really cool. Mine were Steely Dan's Asia and the first Van Halen album. So if you expected something like Tiny Tim, no, not gonna happen. But then somehow we got onto the subject of album cover art. The good ones, bad ones, strange ones, the ugly ones. And it turns out that there's a lot of really bad, strange, weird album covers. A lot of them. In fact, there were so many bizarre album covers that I wasn't even sure where to start this bit. Because literally there's thousands upon thousands, so we're gonna probably have to do this gag a few times in the future. Especially if I'm running short of programming ideas, which happens a lot. Shh, don't tell anybody. But let's just start with some strange ones. Like this one. I mean, who needs Barry White when you got this? Music for washing and ironing. Nothing, and I mean nothing, gets us hot like household chores, so obviously there's got to be music for it. Although this is taking a little bit too far, don't you think? A little extreme, right? It's disturbing. But here's the thing, this isn't even the only weird cover on this list, because then there's this. Now, to be fair, Crosby, Stills and Nash has put out some great albums over the course of time. But what the hell is this? Because I don't know about you, but my idea of living it up does not involve a bunch of other people's wieners. But speaking of wieners, this next guy here, he has a big problem. Check this out. I don't know about you, but when I look at this one, it makes me a bit uncomfortable below the equator for some reason. After all, there's no known cure for car balls, right? And you have to wonder, at what point does someone say, hey, let's take some Ford and Mercury products and stick them next to a guy's balls? Kind of makes me sad, but not as sad as this next one here, right? This one made me sad when I saw it right away, when I first saw it. But to be fair, Pam did get married to a TV producer. Because in reality, she was really a poet and a comedian, so this title was a gag title. So now I don't feel so bad. Unlike this next one. I don't know about you, but I'm glad I didn't go to this damn college, because man are they strict. Because that dude's about to lose his head. Maybe, just maybe, he lost his yo-yo. Like these guys. I like how the title is in the form of a question, following an ellipse. Now, to be fair, yo-yo theft is a rising criminal epidemic, so yeah. I wonder though, if it wasn't just yo-yos that they stole, maybe they stole their comic books. And speaking of comic books, it really is a shame how Superman has let himself go. I don't know, he's nearsighted now too, check that out. The mustache, I don't know, it kind of makes him look like one of those dudes that should have a van and have candy for children or something. It's just weird. But I think the driver was probably a finalist on Canada's Worst Driver. Just thought. But since we're talking about celebrities anyway, let's try these guys. And so now we know what Big Bird does when the cameras aren't rolling, right? I know. But speaking of sex symbols, this next set of album covers is for the ladies. And I know that these images are going to make you feel really warm under the bonnet.
Wow.
So I apologize in advance. So let's start with this one. I know you're wondering, is that a cannon in your pocket or you're just glad to see me? Right? And what's that knob underneath right there? What does that do? It looks like some sort of birth control device. But the pointing, I think the pointing is kind of unnecessary, don't you? Maybe he's pointing to this guy, Gary. I know he's making you hot. Yeah! I mean, Gary, who's getting down to business. I have no idea what the business is. And I know, ladies, you're probably getting turned on by this, and I probably shouldn't show these images, but here's my question. What's that red thing in his pants? I mean, what is that? And what about this next guy? Zip, zap, holy crap. Do you really want to hang out with this dude? You ever do something that you think is a good idea and then you look at it years later and like, oh, what the fuck was I doing? I think that's one of these, right? But I'm pretty sure this next guy didn't say no to drugs either. I'm pretty sure Saban's not a dentist. Right? You know, whoever the photographer was, I really blame him. You should said, dude, what the hell, right? I think Saban needed a second opinion, just like this next dude here. Now, I feel bad for Kalush. I mean, he looks defeated. He looks like he just walked out of divorce court and lost everything. I mean, look, the guy can't even afford a haircut. Not like this guy. This guy can afford a haircut. But if this is Ken, I wonder where Barbie is or what she looks like. Maybe Barbie's with this guy. Yeah, I know. You're totally turned on now, huh? Well, you should, because he's clearly well versed in strap-ons. Ugh. Maybe thinking about these next two dudes will help you. Here we go. Bill and Dick. But speaking of Dick, apparently, once you taste black, you don't come back. You gotta love a name that's a noun, an adjective, a verb, an interjection, and a state of mind, right? But then there's this guy, and I gotta warn you, this one's pretty wild. Here we go. Dick Handler, the Dick Handler Quartet. I don't know about you, but Dick Handler sounds like the name of a fluffer. Now, oh God. If you don't know what a fluffer is, that's the assistant who keeps the actors in an adult movie ready for their next take, for their next action. That guy, the Dick Handler Quartet. I'm sorry. And by the way, how many people are in a quartet? I only see 3. Did Dick not get the memo here? Right? And speaking of people who can't count, then there's this, the Happy 3. Let's start counting. 1, 2, 3, pi, 7, 13 and a half, 284.23. And look at Granny. Doesn't she look like Kalush did? Doesn't she have that same expression of, what the fuck am I doing here? Right? Poor thing. But then, speaking of people who can't count, then there's these guys. The Svarter Brothers Quartet. Is this 5 people or is this a bad photobomb or what? Because I'm not getting it. And here's what cracks me up. I'm going to zoom in on their hit single here, right? The big hit single, The Great Snatch is coming. Not The Great Pumpkin, The Great Snatch is coming. I don't know about you, but this is a gospel album. Did they not think this through? Are these guys dummies or what? And speaking of dummies, there's this weird trend in album cover art, that features ventriloquist dummies. It's creepy as hell. I mean, take a look at this guy. Happy Harry, right? No, this isn't creepy at all. Why do you ask? But by the way, if you're driving or if you're using a cell phone, this next bit isn't going to work here. But for those of us who are on a computer or something bigger, if you look at Harry's eyes and you move to the left, his eyes follow you. If you move to the right, they follow you. It's really fucking creepy, right? It's bizarre. It's kind of like Chucky's bastard cousin, right? And if that's not creepy enough, take a look at these two. Frida and Willie Joe. I think they're related by birth, right? And even being related to a dummy isn't just a one-off, right? Because then there's this guy, Uncle Cousin. Now you figure out the math, right? I have no idea. I'm pretty sure that it's a close family or something, right? A closed loop, is that what they call it in science? Mendel would have killed himself trying to figure out these genetics, right? And if one dummy isn't creepy enough, why not have 2 creepy dummies? Here with Uncle D. I don't know what kind of talk Uncle D is having with Charlie and Sheila, but it's gotta be weird. But it looks like Chucky in college and his sister or something. And if this isn't creepy enough for you, this next guy taught his dummy how to be even creepier. Yikes! Oscar apparently taught his dummy, Don Chema, to chase women. I mean, how gross is this, right? When Don Chema comes around, you gotta bring Mace, because he's a creepy-ass dummy. But the creepy train doesn't even stop here. Oh no. Then we got this. All I can say is just yikes. I don't even know how to explain this. And if you look back there, you gotta talk to the photographers when they do this, because it looks like the sheep are doing something inappropriate back there. And this is a religious album, so somebody slept on this one. And just when we didn't think it could get any weirder than this, oh no, it does! I don't even know where to start with this one. I don't know about you, but beating your breast sounds really, really painful. And what's with the 3H5H thing there? Is that some sort of ovarian code? Are they spies? And you know what? I can't figure this one out either. I mean, it looks like these elephants are being potty trained. They're wearing wigs? What the hell, right? And by the way, this is not the only weird album cover. Not by far, because then there's this. No, thank you. I'll take the bus, because yikes. And speaking of equines, I don't know how to pronounce it. Equines. Then we have this. Dorothy Goes Country. I love this one. I think this might be my favorite because nothing is sexier than mommy with a shotgun and a horse, right? This is just plain wrong, right? It's just disturbing. It's just, ugh. But this isn't even the worst on the list. These next ones are worse. And here, you might want to consider a different gynecologist if this is what you have to go through. Or you might end up with this problem. Now, I don't know why this one makes me laugh so much. I'm pretty sure that the spike heels are probably not the best footwear to wear if you're invading Detroit. But what really cracks me up is that someone went out of their way, way out of their way, to create a detailed art thing here. Unlike this next guy, and by the way, I have to warn you, this was a little graphic. This is just so wrong on so many levels. I don't even know where to start. And Daddy? Really? Really? Yikes. Now, I'm trying to be a good host here, right? You could probably tell that I don't know what I'm doing, which is fine. I can't leave you with that image as the last one we do. So let's look at this one. The album cover is fine. There's nothing wrong with it. What I think is interesting is that it's physically impossible to yodel and whistle at the same time. I want to see the guy do it. Now, to be fair, I too have designed a few weird CD covers. I designed them for Love is a Four-Letter Word. I designed them for Jackson St. Croix. I've designed them for Rhymes for Mimes. And even Greenpoint Blue. So you see, even I, Xorti Magica, am not immune to the silliness. Not even close. So album covers, we'll probably revisit this at some point. But on that silly note, I'm going to take a short break and share some clips with you. And if you think of it, please add album covers you find amusing or strange in the comments section, and maybe we can include them when we do this gag again. So what do you think? And by the way, thank you so much for making this fun. It really means a lot. I'll be right back. Check these out. All right, welcome back. So something happened here today that I didn't think would happen. We ran out of time. Funny thing about that is that I actually teach classes in time management. Oopsie. That kind of reminds me of those accountants that manage like billion-dollar budgets at work, but they can't do it at home. And yeah, I know that there's no specific time limit that we're supposed to have. But to be honest with you, I'm trying to record before the chickens start making noise, because I don't know about you guys, but chickens here on this island are evil. They are evil. They have no problem getting up at 4 in the morning and crowing when there's absolutely nothing to crow about. And the thing is, those bastards seem to know when I'm about to record, because all of a sudden they start crowing. They're quiet all morning until I start recording. The little shits. But anyway, I want to thank you for reminding me of something really, really important. And that's the power of our voice. Because no matter what, the thing that makes us truly unique is our voice. And I want to thank you for allowing me to share mine. Now, I don't do advice. But I would really recommend for all of us to use our voice, to be proud of our voice, and to use it a lot, especially when it comes to fulfilling our own destinies in a positive way. And to accept ourselves as we truly are. The good things, the bad things, the regrets, the losses, the successes, the really cool things we've done, the really cool places we've been, dancing, singing, all of it. All of it. So thank you for being here. It means a lot. And I hope that this is as much fun for you as it is for me, because I'm having a blast sharing this with you. And again, I'm grateful that you let me do it. I hope that you have an amazing day and that you have fun, that you experience great moments, that you laugh, that you tell stories, that you look at the sky, because those clouds are awesome, and that you dance in the living room whether there's any music or not. We can just be us. Again, thank you for spending time with me. See you again soon. Bye for now.